Now, on to the news stories, family. You
Let's
know how
go.
we do it.
Let's do it.
3 or 4 news stories just to get the family thinking. You know what I mean? Just to get the family thinking about the things that we go through, the incidents that be taking place with our people. So,
Yes,
the
sir.
first news story I wanted to read is about a brother named Grandmaster Jay. So, if you guys aren't familiar with Grandmaster Jay is the leader of an organization called the Not Fucking Around Coalition. And the Not Fucking Around Coalition basically is a militia that goes to protests. Like over the last 3 or 4 years, like I was telling you, Shereen, there's been a rise in white militia organizations, right? So
Okay.
to combat that, this brother created the Not Fucking Around Coalition. It's like 300 of them or more. They'll show up at a protest strapped down just to make sure everything remains peaceful. There's been times where some of the Confederate monument statues, they've wanted those statues to come down, so they'll march in front of the statue. Everything has been peaceful, so it ain't been like them shoot nobody or doing nothing like that. They're real
Right.
organized. They're the brother Jam Master Jay seems to be in charge of the organization to the point where they're real professional and about their business. And really, I just admire the fact that he willing to stand up and protect his people. You know what I mean? Because they willing to do work. A lot of the brothers that's in the NFAC, the Not Fucking Around Coalition, they ex-military. Like these brothers is willing to get down. You know what I mean? All in the name of our liberation. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because they distinguish themselves between what they do and what like a Black Lives Matter. Like no disrespect to someone who marches and protests. All they're saying is there's a time to protest, there's a time to pick this goddamn gun up to make sure nothing happened to us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what happened? The brother was arrested a few days ago. So let me read the story. Black militia leader John Fitzgerald Johnson, also known as Grandmaster Jay, was arrested on Thursday and charged with assaulting law enforcement officers for pointing a gun at police in Kentucky early this year. Now, Johnson, who is 57 years old, he's the leader of the armed militia group, like I said, the Not Fucking Around Coalition, was arrested at his Ohio home on December 3rd on charges stemming from a September 4th incident in
Hmm.
which authorities say he interfered with federally deputized task force officers one day before a planned protest near the Kentucky Derby in Louisville, Kentucky. They were there to protest the Breonna Taylor situation and how we haven't
Okay.
really gotten any justice about that. So basically, according to the criminal complaint, Johnson, Grandmaster Jay, pointed an AR-15 rifle at an FBI agent, a Secret Service agent, and 3 Louisville Metro officers while they were surveilling an area from the roof of a building as demonstrators gathered to protest the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor, who was killed by Louisville police in March. We all know about that story. The protest was planned to coincide with the running of the storied Kentucky Derby. So they wanted to kind of interrupt the Kentucky Derby just to bring a point about our injustice. So, you know what? So I looked it up. Of course, to point a gun at anybody is against the law. To point a gun at a cop, if a person point a gun at you, that's against the law. But I bring up the story because, in my opinion, the brother is doing a good thing. Like creating a militia designed to protect our people in a peaceful but ready to do action. Like they ain't on no fuck shit. They're extremely peaceful and they show up where they need to be to help our people. You know what I mean? So them arresting this brother, in my opinion, because he's facing like 20 years in jail for this shit, Shereen.
20
Just
years.
just for because there's a picture of him with his AR-15 pointing it up where the officers are, and they seen the light on him, like, oh shit, this nigga pointing his gun. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
of course that's the offense that can land you in jail. But how severe they're making it, see, I'm not sure. Whenever I see somebody that's in our community, a man or a woman in our community that knows how to conduct business the right way, like knows how to um, show unrest the correct way, like knows how to militarize people, know how to gather people together to get them to do whatever that said thing is. I
Yeah.
think the powers that be are always going to be a little weary of somebody who knows how to wield all this power and it ain't no nigga shit going on. You know what I mean?
Well, I
So
mean, first, when you think about it, you know, you could go back to the 60s when we talked about Martin Luther King, different type of mentality and different type of tactic. But what happened to him? There was a target on him. He was trying to make change, trying to be seen, and he ended up killed. You talk about even Fred Hampton Sr. This man was assassinated. I talk about him a lot of times because I learned about him at such an older age. 80 times, over 80 times shot with the mother of his child, Fred Hampton Jr., in his stomach, in her stomach at 7 months. They knew that he was trying to do things what I call decent and in order. Right? He's dead. So what's the difference now? You talk about the man now, Grandmaster Jay.
Yep.
So again, he's being watched. You got feds watching him. You got the police watching him. You got anybody who is in that white supremacy type of level watching him because he is now a threat. So what they do is they try to find anything that they can to either bring him under, make him stay behind bars, or he would end up dead. So I don't feel that he's going to get to 20 years, but I do feel like they probably are going to try to give him something because they want to teach us a lesson.
It seems like we always need to be aware of the fact that a lot of shit they do to us, it's exactly that. We want to teach you a lesson. We want you to stay in your place type of mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
those youngsters come up trying to and follow
exactly
him. Because look what happened to him. If you 18 to 25-year-old think you're going to do something, look and see what's going to happen.
You know what I mean? And I've seen the brother do interviews and talk to different people from our community, and he's real clear on his mission. He's real clear that he's tired of all the injustices that happen with black people. It's his ideology that one day we need to be in our own place. Like, he's somewhat of a separatist where he believes we need to be on our own land, which I'm not completely against that. You know what I mean? I mean, shit, why not? You know what I mean? So I rock with the brother. I hope they let him out. I hope he don't get a lot of time for this. Now, when I'm online, I'm paying attention to a lot of the quote unquote conscious people in our community. You know what I mean? And some people are calling him an agent because of some videos that came out of some shit like that. I do my own research on people, and I come up with my own conclusions based on what I find. And I haven't found no negative shit about the brother, because at the end of the day, everybody gonna have faults. Like, ain't nobody gonna be a perfect man or a perfect person. I'm always inspired when I see people who are fighting for black liberation. People who stand up and say, look, I see what's going on with my people. I don't like that shit. I'm gonna try to do something to fix it. Because a lot of black folks don't. I know a lot of black people who, they go to work, they go home, they want to take care of their family. I'm not knocking having like that singular mindset where you're just thinking about your family, but to me, all black folks is my family. So I'm constantly thinking about the moves that I make and the things that I do. How is this going to affect like black people in general? You know what I mean? Because when we get pulled over, when we have all these bouts with racism, they're not looking at where you from. They're not looking at if you from Haiti or if you an islander. They're not looking at if you from New York or if you from a gang. They're not looking at any of that shit. They're just looking at just the skin color.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So when I look at black folks, the first thing I'm always looking at is, what's your relationship to other black people? Like, do you love us? Do you genuinely have a affinity for the advancement of black people? And that don't mean you a revolutionary. That don't mean you got to wear no damn dashiki. That don't mean you got to go to all the meetings. You ain't got to do none of that. Shit, just care. Just care and get in where you fit in to try to help out. Because typically, if you start caring, you'll figure out a way to help out. You feel me? So one love to the brother Grandmaster Jay. I hope he don't get a long amount of time for doing what he did. But this is inspiration to all of us. Shit, if you know a lot about guns and you in the black community, start you a little coalition. Like, start you a little militia type thing where you teach people, because really what he's doing is teaching black folks how to handle guns, teaching black people how to organize. We all need that shit. You see what I'm saying? So
let me shout out real quickly to my cousin Kyrie Malik. He's doing exactly what you are talking about. I don't know if you heard about it. He has a group called the Brown Shooters.
Where are they out of?
It's brown shooters right here out of Sacramento, born and raised.
Oh.
So just so you guys know, people that are watching, if you're interested in learning about guns, learning how to use them with respect and handle them in a way where you have to know that using a gun is not for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're willing to understand that what guns are really for, how they're used to protect, how they're used to protect your family, if you want to learn how to use them, which types of guns they are. Shout out to Kyrie Malik starting the Brown Shooters, and look him up, just the Brown Shooters right here on Facebook. And they have almost every week or every other week they go out to the shooting range and things of that nature. And what I think a part of that big goal is to get us aware of how to use guns, what to know about guns, and to know, just like when you're driving a car, how you have to be real responsible. It's a privilege to drive a car. You can't be reckless. A lot of our people think of guns as reckless. We just blah blah blah. You know the way we talk about it. It's a real thing, and again, decent and in order. So shout out to Kyrie Malik. Check him out. Brown Shooters. Learn how to be responsible when you have guns, and learn how to use them the right way.
Yeah, and I may have him on the show because that's important. A lot of the brothers that I know, like just coming up in my neighborhood, they weren't too keen on like legal firearms. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody had one, but nobody really had no training on how to use it. They was using it. They first time using it was when they had to shoot at somebody or something. You know what I mean? So and that was.
Let's do this. You and I, because I've been wanting to go out there. And you don't have to have your own gun. Everybody it's a unity thing. So we can go out there together and do our first little thing and learn together, right? You can speak to Kyrie, bring him on the show.
Oh, so, wait, he has like a little gun range or something?
He just goes to the gun ranges out here.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, and you could go there with him. Got it.
No, but see, it's different than a gun range. It's a gun land. It's like you have a bunch of land and acres to shoot things. It's not just a range where you're just sitting there, shoot, bang, 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 bang. You know, things of that nature. So I'll hook that up, and then you and I can go together.
Definitely.
And that popping. Shout out to Brown Shooters.
Definitely. Shout out to Brown Shooters. Now, next story. So again, shout out to the brother Grandmaster Jay. I hope everything works out good for him. Next story, out of Wisconsin, right? When we talk about our school systems, our